My hope with this is that at least one person will see this and realize that they're not alone in having health challenges, especially when they're running. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Runnah, running on Cape Cod, Massachusetts and beyond, and welcome back to your favorite local running community. I'm Juliana, and we are here with a solo episode. Here we are, huzzah! And I understand that we've been doing a fair few number of solo episodes, but do understand, this is my show, my podcast, so I make the rules here. I also don't make the schedules for the people who I want to interview. So we kind of have to work around my schedule, plus their schedule, plus all the health issues I've been having, plus like jobs that I'm working, plus everything else in the world. So we are here. We are going to be doing an episode today about balance issues I've been having and some kind of undiagnosed balance issue / neurological issue. I just want people who are watching this to realize that if you're having a health issue, especially one that's not super common and isn't like easily diagnosable, you're definitely not alone. But before we get into that, 2 reminders for all of you. And if you've been here before, you know the deal. 1, please subscribe to the channel if you can. That really helps me out. Definitely comment below and like the video as well, too. That definitely helps the channel out a lot. And 2, I am fundraising for Team for Kids for the London Marathon in 2026. And if you'd like to donate to that, you can head to the link down below and donate to my London Marathon charity fundraiser. None of the money goes to me. It all goes directly to Team for Kids. So you can help out some kids get access to sports and running and active programs that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. So that is great. What we are going to be talking about today is balance issues. Challenges with balance that's probably like neurological issues. Something that I'm going to preface with this is that I am not fully diagnosed yet with anything specific. I also come with the caveat of like a diagnosis is just a title for a collection of symptoms. It's not necessarily the live all, end all, be all of everything. It's a title for a collection of symptoms. It helps doctors organize things better and thus more effectively divvy out treatment. It doesn't mean if you don't have a diagnosis, it doesn't mean that you don't have the symptoms. But people get really stuck up on that. But I just want to let people know that like I've been seen by certain doctors who like aren't specialists in this type of thing, have referred me to a specialist. It's taken 6 months for me to get to that appointment because I have to go to Boston, but I'm going to go see the people at, I think Boston Mass General, maybe. I can't remember which hospital it is. One of the big hospitals in Boston, but I have a appointment in January with their movement disorder clinic. So that has escalated up to that. And that's where we're landing us right now. So I want to just talk about the symptoms that I've been going through and also just like let people know that that they're not alone if you're going through this. And like things that I think that it possibly could be, could not be. And also just letting you know like some mechanisms I've been using to help like treat or at least cope with what's going on. Symptoms that I've been having. So since at least like 2020, possibly, I've been having this weird like kind of foot drop thing where like when I'm running, I hit the front of my stride and my toe strikes the ground, right? And your foot goes up and then you bring it back forward. The time when it's in the air, my foot will hit the ground and it'll go back and it'll go, and I can like feel it like spazzing out and then it hits the ground again. That's been happening for probably about a month consistently once a year. And then it just goes away. And thinking about it in retrospect, a lot of it has to do with like changing temperatures. I've noticed like looking back on the last couple of years, thinking back as I'm reflecting about these symptoms, it's happened when it's gotten colder, which my body like historically is not good with the cold, and definitely when I'm in a moment of stress. So those have been 2 consistent things. And also when I'm doing a lot of flat running. So running where I'm either on the treadmill or just like really flat surfaces outside, like the bike path. So those have been pretty consistent things that I've been dealing with at least the last like 5 or so years. What's been new this year and knew as of me getting that tattoo that kind of spiraled us into where we are now and just created the hellscape that has been since June for me. Is that my leg, when I am running, it is like flaring out. So it reaches the top of the stride and it just kind of like flares out. So we're getting to here and then we're going, ugh, ugh. So not the most productive thing in any capacity. So these are things that I've had a really hard time like working with, even doing a lot of physical therapy, doing like traditional strength training, working with acupuncture, working with trigger point release and massage therapists. Things have gotten better and things have definitely improved, and I'm definitely in less pain because this whole like the leg thing is causing some pain through the bottom of my like sit bone area. So that's definitely been interesting. And it's definitely been hard to like land properly when you have both of those things happening at the same time. So the coordination thing is not going well. I have a history of like not being the most coordinated human in the entire world anyway. So it's kind of like par for the course a little bit. But what I think it possibly is some kind of dystonia. And that just means that like I'm having unwarranted, I guess, not really sensical muscle contractions, or the contractions are just overcompensating. And so they're like happening instead of my foot just kind of like going backwards, it's going whoop, too much. It's contracting too many muscles or too much. Same with the hip as well, too. And also just probably something to do with my circulation issues. And we're not really exactly sure what it is, but it's possibly some kind of dystonia. And that would definitely be something that is hard to treat because generally speaking, the main treatments for dystonia are different medications, which I could definitely try. I'm trying to not add any more medications to my repertoire. As many of you have seen, I have a lot of medications in my repertoire already, and I don't really want any more. I'm good. But we have been that they can treat it with that. And then there's also Botox injections. When the Botox injections freeze the muscle, which for an athlete or someone who's trying to do something athletic, it's not really a productive thing because it will freeze the muscle and then it kind of paralyzes the muscle and then you can't really use the muscle. It's like, okay, the muscle's either doing nothing or everything. There's not like a good in between zone. So that's kind of where we're at from like the medical diagnosis standpoint. Things that I have been doing to kind of mitigate things, because largely speaking, along with these like medication treatments, and they also do like deep brain stimulation too, which I'm not even going to get into because I don't really know much about it. And again, we have not like actually spoken to the healthcare professionals yet. I'm just trying to deal with the symptoms. So balance issues, muscles going kind of bananas, not really being able to put my feet where I want to put them, feeling like I'm kind of disconnected from my feet and my legs in a way. I've also realized that I've like largely mentally detached myself from my body over the last 6 months, which fair. It's been a hard time. So I've been trying to kind of use some like neuroregulation techniques to help out with like just reconnecting myself with my body, feeling more present in my body, bringing back more balance into my system. Just because I found, and I think other people have found from my internet research, that if you can regulate your nervous system a lot better, like your muscles actually are a lot more controlled and you can mitigate a lot of the symptoms. So a lot of that comes down to like breathing exercises, self-soothing exercises, and things that kind of like put you back in the present and put you back in your own body. So I have talked with my therapist. I've talked with our good friend Nicole, who is our psyching team lead for the Cape Cod Marathon. She's been on here twice, and we love Nicole. She's one of my best friends, and she has a lot of like neuroregulation tips that she works with all of her clients and her girls with, and just kind of doing some self-reflection. And I've kind of landed on a few, and I've been trying these things out like actively when I'm running. And I've kind of landed on a few different things that have helped me the most. The biggest thing for me, and if anyone follows me on Strava, you'll know that I've been doing this, or you've seen me out in the wild, is that I have been singing. I realized that like singing is my main like self-soothing method and always has been. I'm someone who like I grew up doing show choir, church choir, select choir, jazz choir, show choir, all the school musicals, regular chorus, like state chorus, like any kind of chorus, I was doing it. Any kind of singing, I was part of it. If you leave me alone for longer than 5 minutes, I will at least start humming to myself. I constantly have a song playing in the back of my head. And like I sing when I run anyway, sometimes, but it's not all the time. But I realized that when I was doing that, it was easier for me to control my muscles. I think largely a part of it is the self-soothing. Nicole told me that like your big nerve that's right back there, your whatever the heck the name of that nerve is, your vocal cords are right on it. So if you can get your vocal cords like vibrating, it'll kind of like soothe that nerve, which I think is helping as well. Also, it helps with my breathing. I've also realized that when I'm nervous or when I get like kind of tense or when I get kind of like scared or just worried about something, I stop breathing. So singing helps me to breathe. Also, talking for me when I'm running has been something that I'll put in the same category because it forces me to breathe correctly. And it also is creating that vibration that I think is self-soothing in a big way. So for me, singing has been like the biggest thing, which is great because this doesn't come with any medication side effects. It's not a new medication. It's something that I can do like as much or as little as I want. And it's constantly available to me, which is absolutely fantastic. And we love that. Other things that I've been trying is I have gotten myself a new fidget spinner ring. I realized that I had a spinner ring before and it broke on me and I just didn't replace it because it was one of the Harry Potter ones and it was copper and it was just like kind of, it was nice, but it was also kind of just like not the highest quality, but it was cute. And I got that and then I just got rid of it after it broke and I never replaced it. And I remember when I had it before, I just found myself like flicking it like this, even when I wasn't thinking about it. And I remember just having better running during the time when I had that. And then I also read an article about Kara Goucher, who publicly has stated that she has runner's dystonia, which is a very rare form of dystonia, which could be what I have for sure. And she said that she runs with fidget toys in her hands, and spinner rings are a format of fidget toys. And I know it's something that I can just keep on my finger and just spin whenever I need to. And I have found that that's really helpful because it kind of just like creates that grounding of me just being able to focus a little bit more and putting me back in my body and just reconnecting me with a part of my body that like my hands and my feet are the two spots that I seem to disconnect with first because I think they have the least amount of circulation in my body mentally when I am starting to just like remove myself from this planet mentally. So having that, I think has been really helpful. You could definitely use like any other fidget toys that you find helpful. But I just found that because I can keep it on my person, I know that I'll do it subconsciously. And if I want to do it when I'm running, which I have been, and I did today when I was running, all I got to do is do this and it's right there. And I got one that's got like little grooves on it and it's nice and textured. So I really enjoyed that. It was like $7 on Amazon. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. You know, that has been really, really, really helpful for me. Those have been like my two main things. Also, like continuing with therapy, like talking to people about how I'm feeling. Definitely just figuring out different ways to improve my breathing and just also, oh, the other thing too, wearing like lower stack shoes. I found that the shoes that are like really high cushion, they disconnect me from the ground too much. And I need to be able to like have some kind of sensory input from the ground to be able to like properly navigate my way through the earth in a way. Wearing some of my like lower stack shoes, not like super low stack shoes, but like shoes where like I can actually kind of feel the ground a little bit more. Like I was running in the Puma Mag Max the other day and that was just too much. I couldn't do that. But then I ran in my Puva Forever runs this morning, and that was good. And then yesterday I was in the Deviate, which has like the plate in it, but you can definitely like at least get some ground feedback in that one as well too. So doing that. And then also lastly, practicing like toe raises and toe exercises, because I also realized I've been falling backwards too much with not getting any sensory input from my feet. So we're working on our calf raises. We're working on all of our like toe exercises and things like that. Nicole and I went to see the Nutcracker last night, and I was like, wow, I got to do whatever exercise these ballerinas are doing, because like they have it down packed with toe strength. That is largely what I've been doing. To wrap this up, I just want to let everyone know, if you are having some kind of challenge with your running, with your health in general, if your balance is off, if you are like having trouble regulating your nervous system and you feel like you're all alone, please just know that you're not. Please just know that like whatever you're going through, there's something you can do to help out with it for the most part. And that if you need someone to give you a little pep talk, I'm here to give you a little pep talk. You know, I've been giving myself little pep talks for sure. And definitely just realize that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're probably going to run into some doctors who are trying to gaslight you, especially if you're a female presenting human being. You're probably going to get gaslit by some doctors, and it really sucks. It really, really sucks. But it's unfortunately, it's the American healthcare system. But you can be better than the American healthcare system, and you can find ways to manage what you're going through, and also find a community. Again, where I'm going to say that I really love going to Reddit, not to necessarily find solutions to my problem, but just know that I'm not alone, and just find the communities where I can be like, hey, has anyone else ever gone through this? And then maybe there's someone who does give you like a useful solution to like, of like a way of breathing. They're like, yeah, I tried this like breathing method like a while ago and it really helps. And like, if that really helps you, that's great. If it doesn't, then that's fine. I would say don't try anything that's like super risky that people recommend on Reddit. But if someone recommends that you try out like a breathing method, or they're like, yeah, maybe a fidget toy will help you, I feel like those are like safe, valid options to be trying, you know. But use your own judgment. I'm not in charge of your life. I'm not in charge of your body. I'm just here to share my experience, part of what has been happening recently. This is just a very, very small snippet of all the health issues that I've been going through. We don't want to overwhelm people with too many things. And if you wanted to get information on that, here we are. Hopefully this was helpful to someone. I don't know if it will be or not. I don't really know. We're trying our best over here. But before we end up the video, don't forget, my friends, subscribe to the channel if you can, and donate to the London Marathon fundraiser if you can. And I will see you on the next episode of Runnah. I love you all very much. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod, and you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.